it's me Alex. Today I have a super fun video that my friend Fashionista here on YouTube invited me to do this giant collab with. Basically, a whole bunch of us are getting together and doing mask-friendly makeup tutorials. So here is mine. I try to do kind of neutral, natural glam sort of look because I feel like that's what goes with this mask, and also I have to do work today. So I should probably keep it just a little bit more neutral. I'm using the Drench Cosmetics Cosmic Oasis palette. I'm so excited. I just think it's so important for us to all be wearing masks because we're in the middle of a fucking pandemic. And I think too, the fact that I only really have to do this part of my face to go out right now is pretty nice because that means that I can focus where I do my best work, which is eyeshadow. So if you would like to see how I got this look, let's just get into the tutorial. Okay, so we're here at the beginning of the tutorial. I want to tell y'all what I already did. So firstly, I prepped my face with the Supergoop Unseen Sunscreen SPF 40. I'm not going to be wearing any sort of foundation or anything with this look just because I don't I barely wear like any sort of full coverage anything on a regular basis anyway, and with my mask covering half my face, I just really don't see the need to do that. So instead, I always go in, well, you should always go in with a sunscreen anyway, but I feel like sunscreen is especially important right now because one of my bigger non-disease related fears about this pandemic is that like I'm just gonna get a sunburn on like the top half of my face, and like the other half is gonna just be like my pasty ass self. So the sunscreen is especially important, and this shit is good. I've also obviously already done my brows as well. This is what I normally do, but I especially like to kind of go with a dramatic brow. I mean, because I always do that, but I especially like to do the dramatic brow right now because I figure, okay, if people are only seeing like the top half of my face, might as well go all out. I know that natural brows are a little bit more of a trend. I know people are moving towards that rather than the Insta brow, and that's fine. I'm just saying that there is nothing natural about me. So I think that is all out of the way. You will have seen the mask that I'm wearing in the intro to this video, but I wanted to show it again. That way you can see kind of what color scheme I'm working off of. Since today I do have some work out of the house that I need to do, I am going to keep this look a little bit more like neutral, natural glam. My job is pretty chill about like me doing artsy makeup, but I do like kind of tone it down when I am going to do any sort of like customer facing work, just because I think that that is probably the most professional part for me. Other days when I'm not, I can do like full-on blue eyeshadow, but today is not that day. So I'm gonna try and match kind of this color scheme with the little leopard print that I have for this mask. And I'm gonna be using the Drench Cosmetics Cosmic Oasis palette, which you'll have seen in the beginning. So one thing about like wearing a mask is that like, since it's so warm, it kind of makes the rest of my face like extra oily, which makes it super important for me to prime my eyes. I already do that anyway because despite the rest of my face being like pretty normal during regular times, like normal to dry, my eyelids are, my eyelids, man, are oily as fuck. I'm priming my lids with my NYX HD eyeshadow primer. This is my favorite of all time. It is just fantabulous. I will rave about this until the end of time. This is probably my favorite underrated makeup product. I'll probably do an entire video on like my favorite underrated makeup products. So that was easy. You really don't need too much of it. So I'm kind of gonna do a natural glam sort of look, like I said. So I'm gonna begin with this shade right here, this kind of mid-tone brown as my transition shade. And then we'll see what fun we can add to it with some other shades. I'm using the e.l.f. and J. Kissa J3 brush, and look out, the pigmentation already. This is my first time using this palette, but I swatched this last night when it came in the mail. Holy shit, it is beautiful. So I'm just using this as my transition shade, just blending this very softly into my crease. I'm holding my brush a little bit further back, that way I can get a softer blend rather than making this a very harsh line. And I'm kind of semi-blending it up onto my brow bone just a little bit too. Just because I like to do very, very blown out looks, and I figure if I go up too far, I can always cover it up with a brow bone highlight. Okay, now I'm going to take this e.l.f. blending eye brush and I'm going to take the slightly darker brown here and use that towards the outer corner of my eyes and kind of blend that into my crease as well. And this one is a little bit more red tone, which honestly, this is just so pretty. I love the colors in this palette. This is a very good, like, half colorful, half neutral type situation. I'm definitely going to need to blend that out a little bit more, but this is just so nice. And I'm just going back in with that first brush and just taking that around the edges. Okay, so now I want to do a half cut crease. I really like those for my eye shape. I know they're not for everyone, but this is kind of a staple in my makeup habits, mostly because to me it really helps kind of like a neutral, natural look really pop and just add a little bit of visual interest. So I'm just going to use this e.l.f. glitter glue here that I really like. Just squirting a little bit of that onto the back of my hand. And at this point I've done so many half cut creases in my life that I can just like feel out on my eye where I want the glitter to go. Well, the shimmer. These are shimmer shades, not glitter shades, because Drench knew well enough not to put fucking pressed glitters everywhere in their palette. They just make good shimmers. And so I'm only bringing it about that far over. I will likely bring the shimmer just a little bit further over than how I put the glitter glue. Like, I don't bring the glitter glue all the way over just so that way when I go to blend out the outer corner with a matte shade, it won't be as difficult to do, basically. So since the leopard print on my mask is actually leaning a bit more cool tone, that's kind of what I want to play up in my lid shade, you know, to kind of juxtapose that with the warm tone in my crease. So for that lid shade, I'm going to take this kind of taupey shimmer up here on an e.l.f. and J. Kissa J1 brush, and I'm just going to pack that on over top of the glitter glue. As y'all know, I'm not the biggest like neutral makeup lover, but like this is a really pretty taupey shimmer and I should probably lean into taupes a little bit more. I don't really wear cool tone neutral makeup too terribly much, but I think that that looks really lovely. Okay, now I'm going back with that blending brush and just taking a little bit more of the deeper brown matte and using that to blend out the outer corner. I also feel like this look would look really good with some lashes if that's like your thing. It's not my thing, but like if you decided to do that, I wouldn't blame you. So firstly, what I want to do on my lower lash line, I'm going to begin with the lighter brown here, and I'm going to work that towards the outer corner to blend it out. Like I said, I'm not doing any sort of base product on my face today, so I can just go straight in and not worry too much about it. And then towards the inner portion, I'm going to go in with that green here, just so I can have like a little bit of a pop of color. Like, it's really subtle, which is kind of what I wanted today. I know, who am I? The mattes in this palette, though, are just fantastic. So now I'm going to take just this brush that I got from the Urban Decay Naked Smoky palette. I'm taking the smaller end of it, and I'm going to use a little bit of this kind of bronzy shimmer. Or actually, no, I'm going to use a silver shimmer here for my inner corner highlight, just so that it like really pops. And then I'm going to use the cream shade up here as my brow bone highlight. I also feel like this look could use some wing liner, so I'm going to use my NYX Epic Ink Liner in black. I'm not going to narrate that too terribly much because I will fuck up my eyeliner if I do that. Okay, and just because I think that sometimes the NYX liner is a little too glossy, sometimes it can take on the texture of the shadow underneath it, I am using the e.l.f. and J6 brush, and I'm taking a little bit of that matte black here, and I'm just going to very lightly kind of tap that on top. I think too, I'm just gonna run this very lightly along my lower lash line, just to deepen things up a tiny bit, just towards the outer corner. Okay, so now I'm gonna curl my lashes using my Ardell eyelash curler. And then I'm gonna pop on some of my Milk Makeup Kush mascara that I'm finishing off here. I always do like 2 coats on top and 1 coat on the bottom, because I think that that frames my eye shape really well. Okay, so obviously I'm not really gonna do too much on my forehead or anything like that, because I have bangs, which means that I don't need to do shit. So let's put on our mask, and then that'll be the finished look. And here we have our mask-friendly Glam makeup tutorial. Alright, so that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Nate is putting together a gigantic playlist of everyone who is involved in this collab, so I'm going to be linking that down below. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Nate for organizing this, and I hope y'all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye!